episode where we finally see Pennywise. Let's do it. Hey, welcome to Derry. Episode 5 opens up with Lily going to see Marge in the hospital after the eye incident from last episode. Marge informs Lily that she covered for her. She told everybody that her glasses cut her eye, and she apologizes to Lily for not believing her earlier. Lily ends up taking Marge to meet up with the rest of the gang to talk about what they're gonna do next. And while they're doing this, they start to hear rustling coming from a tent, and they look, and sure enough, it's Maddie. He tells them that he's been kept in the sewers, and this thing that's keeping them there is keeping some people alive to feed on their fear. And he tells the group that Teddy and Susie are dead, but Phil is still down there alive. Meanwhile, Leroy goes to Shaw demanding answers because now he knows that his son is being affected by this thing. And Shaw tells Leroy exactly what it is and the plan to go get the pillars to basically confine this thing to a smaller area. And their plan is to take Taniel to the house on Neibolt Street so he can show them where the pillars are. Meanwhile, we see the Native Americans discussing the cycles that come along every 27 years. And they say that this current cycle is a lot milder than the 35 and 08 cycles, meaning the next 2 seasons of the show are about to be insane. They also discuss how the residents seem to be getting more violent towards each other, so they know that this is building up to the big event that is going to end the cycle, which they refer to as the augury. It's at this point that Rose finds out that her nephew Taniel is being held by the military. So she confronts Shaw about this and basically tells him that he's crazy for trying to contain this thing, like it cannot be done, but he simply does not listen to her. And it's at this point we find out that Rose actually has one of the pillars. She gives this to Taniel so he can protect himself because she knows that they are forcing him to go into the house in Neibolt Street with them. Meanwhile, as Hank Grogan is being put on a bus to Shawshank Prison, he is attacked by Phil and Susie's father, who tries to shoot him, but somebody stops him. And a little bit later, Charlotte sees on the news that on the way to the prison, the bus had an accident and Hank escaped and is now on the run. In the meantime, Leroy has moved Will and Charlotte to the army base because he now knows what's going on in Derry, and he's pissed at Shaw for bringing his family into this. And Lily visits Mrs. Kirsch, who turns out is married to the butcher from the second episode, Mr. Kirsch, and he's just a total asshole to her. Will ends up running away from the base to go meet up with his friends because he wants to help them with their plan. Because they plan to follow Maddie into the sewers to go save Phil, and in doing that, they can also prove that Veronica's father is innocent. So they go to do exactly that, but before they go in, they each take like 3 of Lily's mom's pills. So they get in there and they're high as fuck. Now, as this is happening, the army is also entering the tunnels with Taniel, and they have a team that consists of Leroy, his partner Paulie, Dick Halloran, and some other random soldiers that go in with them. They start to go through the tunnels as Daniel leads them, but suddenly everything goes terribly wrong when Dick jumps into what should be waist-deep water, but he is fully submerged. When he emerges, he is now in a bathtub, and he is having this horrifying vision of his abusive grandfather. He's telling Dick to open the lid of the box while Dick's grandmother is there too, trying to tell him not to do that and give him the strength. As the group is distracted by that, Taniel takes his pillar and makes a run for it, but drops the pillar in the process, so now he's no longer protected. Meanwhile, we cut back to the kids who stumble upon the bodies of their dead friends, starting with Susie and then Teddy, and then they see that Phil is also dead, and then they see Maddie's dead body as well. Then they look up and watch as Maddie slowly transforms into Pennywise. Maddie was dead the whole time. Pennywise just tricked them to get down here. As they all make a run for it, we cut back to Leroy, who is with Paulie. The 2 of them have been separated from everybody else. Leroy starts to see an illusion of his wife Charlotte down there, but he shoots at her knowing that this is fake, because they were all prepped to go down there and told if you see anything that cannot logically be down there, shoot it. Then Leroy starts to hear the voice of his son coming at him, and he thinks that this is another illusion. But his partner Paulie realizes that he can see them too, so he knows that they're real, and he jumps in front of Leroy's gun as he goes to shoot, and he takes the bullet. Leroy accidentally shoots Paulie, and he dies in his arms. Now, Leroy goes to take the kids out, but Lily has been separated when everybody made a run for it. She gets to a dead end, and she looks up and sure enough sees Pennywise coming right at her. He starts to threaten her and taunt her with her dead father again. Pennywise goes to lunge at Lily, but suddenly he stops, and we see that it's because the pillar is in the water beneath him and he can't pass it. So Pennywise has no choice but to retreat, and Lily takes the pillar. Meanwhile, we cut back to Dick and see that he is still having this battle with his grandfather in his mind. I don't think this is actually his grandfather. I think this is another form of it. His grandfather presents that box to Dick and proceeds to open it despite the fact that Dick tries to say no. I did a whole video about Dick Halloran in the boxes a few videos back. We cut back to Ingrid and we see her get in her car one day, and hiding in her back seat is Hank, and he makes her drive into the woods. And it turns out Ingrid is the married white woman that Hank was having an affair with. And he asks her for help and tells her who to call. Sure enough, she calls Charlotte Hanlon and shows up to the army base to meet her. This episode ends with us seeing Dick emerging from the sewers looking absolutely defeated. He looks up and sees a dead version of Paulie, because now that that box in his mind is open, that means all of the bad shines can come through.